Boo-boo brain rot got even worse. Honestly, I'm not surprised at all whatsoever, and I doubt that you guys are either.
No mesmo vídeo tem a vinheta de... E aí, pessoal, tudo na paz?
Tudo legal sem Arial?
Nesses últimos episódios eu me achei muito repetitivo, só focando na tríade do mal, então eu resolvi fazer um extra, vinhetas só de São Paulo.
Pois é, até as emissoras ou empresas do estado mais rico do Brasil também tá pensando o quê?
E a gente começa com a primeira vinheta do Plantão da Globo de 1971.
Presidente eleito do Brasil, General Ernesto Geisel.
Caraca, maluco, esse slide realmente é muito medonho. Isso sim é que dá medo do que aquelas câmeras e microfones voando na tua cara. Uma mãozona em preto e branco tapando a tua cara. É um high five da Deep Web. Mais assustador que isso é uma tela azul do Windows. Ou um e-mail da equipe do YouTube. Ou uma notificação da carteira de trânsito digital. Ou minha mãe me chamando pra conversar.
Cara, é muito difícil encontrar vinheta ruim da Globo, vocês não têm noção. E não é nem por conta do profissionalismo, é porque a gente não sabe dizer qual que é a origem da vinheta, se é São Paulo ou Rio de Janeiro. Eu peguei essas assumindo que o jornalismo da Globo fica em São Paulo, com exceção do Bom Dia Brasil, do Jornal Nacional e Fantástico, que fica tudo no Rio como o resto. Vinheta da eleição de 85 da Globo.
Eu já vi essa vinheta. Ela realmente é muito estranha. Se tu for pegar qualquer vinheta de eleição que a Globo faz, ela é sempre animada, tanto como na música e no grafismo. Essa não, essa aqui eles tiveram uma bela de uma folga.
Chromacopia.
Ainda no mesmo ano, e ainda falando de eleição, essa foi a vinheta da entrevista coletiva com o então presidente eleito Tancredo Neves, o primeiro civil pós-ditadura, mas morreu antes de assumir o cargo.
Interrompemos a nossa programação para transmitirmos direto de Brasília a entrevista coletiva com o presidente eleito, Dr. Tancredo Neves. Logo após, assista a sequência do Balão Mágico.
Na boa, por que esses slides dão medo? Oxi. Tá, a vinheta começou legal, mas do nada escureceu pra preto, não deu pra ver nada. E o Tancredo Neves, coitado, em vez de vestir a faixa presidencial, vestiu foi o paletó de madeira. Vamos apostar quanto? Que o Tancredo morreu porque uma criança fez uma macumba porque interrompeu o balão mágico.
É, falou o ateu que não acredita em porcaria nenhuma. Vinheta da retrospectiva de 2020 da Globo.
Agora, na retrospectiva 2020.
Olha só, dá pra ver um 2018 lá em cima, porque eles reaproveitaram a versão de 2018. Agora isso é muito estranho, porque a retrospectiva, claro, só passa uma vez por ano. Eles tiveram um ano todinho pra ajeitar isso e não ajeitou. E olha que a vinheta não lembra nada de algo sério, jornalístico, parece de um programa infantil, só pegar a vinheta do The Voice Kids que é muito parecida.
É, mas a saudosa Glória Maria tem uma resposta para suas afirmações.
É verdade.
Lembra daquela emissora própria do SBT, do interior de São Paulo, que roubou a textura antiga da Globo?
Eu acho que sim, é um tal de Fala Cidade?
Essa mesma. Essa emissora própria, que fica em Jaú, em 2006, quiseram fazer uma vinheta própria. Veja.
Vala, até fan-made da internet dessa mesma época, em que tudo isso aqui era mato, era mais bem feito. Em vez de inventar moda, bastava só ter usado a vinheta original do SBT, não essa coisa amadora aí, ainda mais de uma emissora própria.
Eu vou mostrar só duas das vinhetas que o SBT fez em 2009, que é aquela montagem do pessoal dançando com o rosto dos apresentadores da casa.
Eu lembro dessa bagaça, meu, eu lembro. É engraçado, mas é muito estranho. É o shitpost antes do shitpost. Ah, tem mais. Há algum tempinho se descobri que eles usaram o aplicativo da internet pra fazer isso aí. Ou seja, seria mais ou menos o equivalente de alguém da emissora fazer uma trend do TikTok e transformar em vinheta.
SBT, a TV mais feliz
A TV
do
mais
Brasil.
feliz do Brasil e hoje é um dos canais mais chatos e manjados do mundo. Dá uma dó genuína ver esse SBT pós-Silvio Santos. Ó a imagem da saudosa Hebe sendo usada pra... Ó o ratinho, ó o ratinho de bailarina gorda. Eu até hoje me pergunto, quem que teve essa ideia de Jericó? O que eles beberam, fumaram, não sei o que fizeram pra fazer uma coisa dessa e ainda mostrar pro público. Eu não sei, mas separa pra mim que eu quero 2.
Eu acho que a resposta ou foi preguiça, corte de gastos ou só zoeira do pessoal interno mesmo.
Quem bate?
Agora uma vinheta mais recente, de 2016.
Ah, esse eu vi também. O estado de Roraima aí, ó, sendo esquecido no churrasco. Geralmente é o Acre, que é usado como piada, que é esquecido, mas nesse caso foi Roraima.
O irônico é que Roraima é o estado menos habitado do Brasil.
Parabéns, viu? Fizeram um bom trabalho, só que não.
Vinheta de intervalo de 1979 da Record.
Esse eu vi também. Tó. Tá aí. Descobrimos onde a Samara do chamado tirou a ideia. Eles pegaram da Record. Agora já era, daqui a 7 dias a gente vai morrer.
E já que você falou de filme, aqui uma vinheta do Cine Record de 1991.
Eu, hein, pessoal da Record tava muito relaxado ao fazer isso, né? Não teve um movimento nos textos, só efeito de transição. E eu conheço as vinhetas da Record daquela época. Eu vi isso aqui na internet e não eram desse jeito não.
A vinheta de 1987 do Show do Esporte na Band, que nos foi recomendado pelo próprio Igor C. Barros, olha só.
Ok. Tênis sem acento. Olha o 3D da época, meu amigo, mó simplesão. Sinuca. Não, imagina, achei que fosse golfe de mesa. Um vôlei com uma bola tão pequena que eu até achei que fosse tênis de mesa mesmo. Boxe. É a única coisa que não é animada em 3D. Futebol. Ah, vá, jura, achei que fosse handball. Olha o carro da Fórmula 1, doido, como é mal modelado, velho. Quer dizer, Fórmula 1 não, né? Porque Fórmula 1 quem passava era a Globo. Hoje é o contrário, né? Fórmula 1 foi pra Band. Basquete.
E acabou, a gravação para por aqui.
Cara, eu dou um desconto porque eles deviam estar engatinhando nesse negócio, né? Mas que é estranho a vinheta é. Ainda mais os textos voando com os nomes dos esportes como se ninguém soubesse quem é quem.
E se você achou esse 3D estranho, calma que piora lá na frente, viu? Mas antes vamos ver a nova vinheta do Brasil, gente.
Putz, a lá miséria, hein, amigo? Eles tinham uma fonte legal, bonita, que há anos era o símbolo do programa, e eles, por alguma razão, trocam por uma fonte brega, sem graça, feia, igual essas vinhetas atuais da Globo. É tipo a remasterização do Chaves com IA, tão útil quanto o feriado no domingo.
E ainda falando de IA, lá pra frente também eu falo a respeito. E agora, mais 3 vinhetas da TV Cultura de Santa Bárbara, extinta afiliado na TV Cultura, na cidade homônima. A primeira, a Interprogramas de 98.
TV Cultura de Santa Bárbara, canal 43. A cidade que ninguém via, agora está com você dia a dia.
A cidade que ninguém via. Isso me confunde bastante, não pela sacada de destaque na TV, mas por estranheza mesmo. Fora de contexto fica mais estranho ainda.
A segunda, que é do mesmo ano, a do Cultura no Esporte, que é assim, é o 3D estranho que eu falei.
Oxi. Brother, se aquela vinheta do show do esporte já era meio estranha, até dava pra entender. A Band tava começando, mas isso aqui, meu amigo, é 1998. E pior, é tudo no modo wireframe, ou seja, não tem textura de nada. Nessa parte em que o bonequinho joga basquete, tá parecendo que ele tá jogando algo no lixo. No final, se era pra ser futebol, eles nem se deram o trabalho de modelar uma trave, só modelou a rede.
A terceira e última do policialesco A Voz do Povo de 2012.
Nossa, como a música é calma demais para um programa policial, mas até que bom, por um certo lado. Já tô de saco cheio daquelas poluição visual e sonora exagerada nos programas policiais, que é sempre um exagero em imagens, em música. Só ver aquele programa lá de Santarém, que eu esqueci o nome. Aí, é disso que eu tô falando, a trilha dos Jogos Mortais, isso sim que é uma trilha de respeito. Eu sei, é manjada, mas combina. Aliás, desculpa a minha ignorância, mas isso pode na TV Cultura?
O quê?
Programa policialesco, assistencialista, sensacionalista, eu imaginava que a TV Cultura só podia passar programa educativo, cultural, escola, jornalismo, só isso.
Olha, eu também penso da mesma forma, mas não só tem a afiliada da Cultura que faz programa assim, como também da TV Brasil, e em ambos os casos tem a afiliada que também vende horário para a igreja evangélica.
Eita, piorou ainda mais, viu? Eu achava que isso era proibido, não sei o que não podia, mas eu sou contra isso. O sensacionalismo não tem nada de cultura aqui. E isso quando a emissora não é usada para fins políticos, que eu também sou contra.
Eu não sei. Que eu saiba, a maioria das afiliadas da Cultura, TV Brasil, TV Escola, essas coisas, são emissoras públicas. São mantidas ou por uma entidade da prefeitura, ou do governo, ou por uma fundação sem fins lucrativos, que são apelidadas de educativas pelo Ministério das Comunicações, mesmo que não tenha nada de educativo nelas, isto é, botar programa policial, assistencialista, sensacionalista e até horário para a igreja. A rede NGT é um exemplo. Só frisando que, até onde eu sei, na lei, usar a emissora para fins políticos ou com fins lucrativos, bem como vender horário, é proibido. E pode perder a concessão, mas, uma vez que esse país se chama Brasil, né, eu não espero de nada. Pode ser que tenha algumas exceções quanto a isso, mas eu não sei. Se vocês entendem sobre o assunto, por favor, me explique. Agora, a vinheta de 1987 da WR Filmes, uma antiga distribuidora de filmes.
Pera um pouco aí, esse som não é da Warner Bros. Home Video?
Isso, não é exatamente igual, é parecido, mas se tu fizer a comparação vai notar a semelhança.
Eu acho que eles abusaram de efeitos sonoros para tentar disfarçar a cópia, né? Adivinha, não colou.
Agora, duas vinhetas da distribuidora e produtora brasileira mais infame do mundo. A Vídeo Brinquedo, a primeira de 2006.
2006, que parece que foi feito uns 20 anos atrás. Até esse movimento de esticar a imagem é cafona pra época. Oxe, que barulho foi esse? A musiquinha tá lá rodando de boas e do nada se suicida. É bom que com isso já tapa até um belo de um extrato da cilada Bino que tu se meteu. O que vai vir depois da vinheta é um filme bosta que parece que foi tirado da camada mais profunda da Deep Web.
Tem outra, que é de 2008.
Ok, não é lá aquelas coisas, mas pelo menos eles melhoraram a qualidade gráfica. O orçamento de troco de pinda que eles tinham foi investido mais na vinheta do que na qualidade dos seus filmes, que copiavam as animações da Disney e da DreamWorks. Cara, agora imagina a humilhação. Tu tá na escola, por volta de 2007, 2008, 2009, o pessoal só falando de franquia famosa como Kung Fu Panda, Rei Leão, Madagascar, Transformers. Aí você é obrigado a ficar fora da rodinha da conversa, pois se você falar em voz alta que não tem isso, mas tem Ursinho da Pesada, Ratatouille, Abelhinhas, Gladiformers, meu, até o zelador ri da tua cara.
Lembra quando falou de IA antes? Essa videobrinquedo mudou o nome para Crianças Inteligentes e ela se já era infame por copiar franquias clássicas. Hoje eles fazem clipes musicais com inteligência artificial. Olha isso.
Ah, não. Você tá de sacanagem comigo, né, meu?
Exatamente. Isso é mais do que uma prova de que eles nunca se importaram com qualidade. Eles preferem fazer tudo do jeito mais preguiçoso nas coxas, para ter um pequeno retorno financeiro, mesmo que exponha eles ao ridículo.
Mano, falta muito óleo de peroba pra passar na cara de pau desse povo preguiçoso. Que triste fim que a videobrinquedo levou, mano. Se resumiu aqueles anúncios aleatórios de Instagram feito por IA que vive aparecendo, é tão ruim quanto.
Eles não só tiveram a pachorra de fazer isso, como também eles fizeram uma música sobre, acredite, compras online, como se a criança soubesse comprar na internet.
Como?
Dinheiro de plástico, cuidado ao usar, compras online, vamos controlar.
Brother, o que o tem a ver com as calças?
Não é pra entender, é pra sentir.
Isso mesmo, eu senti vergonha alheia, tô só o Chico Xavier metendo a mão na cara de tanta vergonha.
Eu aproveito o embalo para corrigir uma informação errada que eu falei no Piores Vinhetas de Mato Grosso. Aquela vinheta lá do Porto Agora, que teve a música feita por inteligência artificial, não era da TV Porto Record em Porto dos Gaúchos, mas da TV Porto de Porto Seguro da Bahia, afiliada da Cultura. Pelo erro, nós pedimos desculpas e agradeço quem avisou.
Piores vinhetas.
Agora, duas vinhetas feitas pela EPTV, uma das afiliadas da Globo no interior.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I remember it so you don't have to.
Doug Walker is one of the most influential people on the internet. You can call him cringe, you can call him stupid, or you can call him a tryhard, but one cannot deny the impact he's had on the internet scene. What James and his character the Angry Video Game Nerd did for video games, Doug Walker and his character the Nostalgia Critic did for movies. Both had very similar styles, and both even crossed over a few times, but they were both unique in their own way. The way Doug would analyze movies in a comedic way while also giving genuine critique is what captivated a lot of people. He didn't spout foul obscenities or stuff about buffaloes' buttholes or anything, but he was a lot more over the top. And well, he started playing into that a bit too much. You see, there are two types of Nostalgia Critic videos. Pre to Boldly Flee and post to Boldly Flee. To Boldly Flee was Doug's 3.5 hour long movie that gave him this idea that people loved his skits so much he tried to cancel the Nostalgia Critic for a skit show and then canceled the skit show after poor reception and brought the Nostalgia Critic back with way more skits. The post to Boldly Flee episodes just can't hold a candle to his old reviews despite the increase in budget. I will fight anyone about this. I believe Doug's older videos are still entertaining to watch. I can go back and watch any of these, and yeah, there are some cringe moments here and there, but overall, they're still good watches to this day. They are a part of why Doug was so influential because of their quality. Well, a little too influential. Just like the Angry Video Game Nerd, Doug's popularity would spawn his very own sect of copycats, people who would do the exact same thing he did, usually lesser. Where James spawned a bunch of foul-mouthed tryhards, Doug spawned a bunch of know-it-all critics who competed to see whose voices could hit the highest frequencies. These Nostalgia Critic wannabes deserve their own dedicated video. Well, the most interesting ones anyway. You want to see some grown man criticize media that's older than you are? I am happy to oblige. Welcome to
I'll be the one to watch the in the flow. I'm the type of gamer every gamer should know.
Now, just because Doug was a movie critic does not mean every single person in this video is gonna be a movie critic. It's generally the style of humor and the usual formula that would make these individuals nostalgia critic clones. This includes stuff like incredibly long and obnoxious skits, going into living cartoon territory rants, stuff like that. It's a little hard to explain, but trust me, you'll know it when you see it.
It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and already I want to stab a puppy and eat people. Pray for the apocalypse, people! We have 80 more minutes of this shit!
Now, who is our first subject for today? Well, my friends, allow me to introduce you to the Gamers Atlas. This is Lotsa. Lotsa is a huge fan of the Nostalgia Critic, and he was very outspoken about this. He expressed this in his series, The Gamers Atlas, where he would review board games in... oh my god, you cannot be serious with this outfit. Already, there's problems just looking at this guy. With James and Doug, yeah, they wore outfits, but these are like typical wear. James is dressed like an office worker, while Doug dressed like someone who acts like a professional. You know, people actually do wear stuff like this in places. Nobody dresses like this today unless you're seriously into role-playing. It's all just distracting. When watching your videos, I should be focused on what you're saying, not being distracted by your costume and asking to myself, what do you think that wig smells like? And role-playing, Lotsa is indeed into, because he plays not only this, but multiple characters in each video.
Arr, your ship lies with Davy Jones. Arr, victory goes to the true pirate. Arr,
he'll switch in and out of costume and talk to himself, but later on he got an actual cast to be in his videos. And yeah, I'll give him this. He's got the skits down to a T. This is as nostalgia critic as you can get skit-wise. Ever wanted to see a pizza delivery man who flies with laser nipples? He's got it.
Right, pizza is here.
Where's the cheese sticks?
Really, I think this was just an excuse to flex his editing and special effects skills because, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty good. Are they impressive? Yes. Are they funny or entertaining? Not in the slightest. But I sure hope you enjoyed these skits because, well, that's all these videos really have to offer. The actual review of the board games are usually very short and very uneventful. He usually explains the rules and gives his opinion on it, maybe with a quip or joke, and then review over. Time for a skit. Overall, his show is nothing special in the slightest. But I guess if you enjoyed Nostalgia Critic skits back then, this nails them down to the smallest detail. Lotsa was clearly a huge fan of Doug and his work, but he just couldn't reach the same level. And he tried. Oh, he tried. He applied for that guy with the glasses to get accepted by Doug on his own website, even with his own theme song and everything.
I'll be the toast of the town, the guy on the go. I'm the type of gamer every gamer should know. I'll be the one to watch the guy in the flow. I'm the type of gamer every gamer should know. Becoming as popular can be. Making my mark in high society. I'm the beau of the ball, the star.
Well, this is something, isn't it? I actually thought it was impressive at first he wrote this whole song and composed it, and then I found out it's taken verbatim from My Little Pony.
I'll be the toast of the town, the girl on the go. I'm the type of gamer every gamer should know. I'll be the one to watch the girl in the flow. I'm the type of gamer every gamer should know.
How silly of me to expect originality from Lotsa. It wasn't just this though. Lotsa tried everything to get noticed by Doug and that guy with the glasses. He met Doug at a convention in 2013 and got him and Malcolm to sign on to do a project with him. A movie. My Date with a Secret Agent. A romantic comedy musical Lotsa was producing and writing. Clearly a passion project for Lotsa, he wanted this film to have everything. He even tried getting John Delancey, very obviously from his role in Friendship is Magic. Yeah, Lotsa was a huge brony. He fit all the check marks from back in the day. A nostalgia critic fan, a brony, next you'll tell me he browsed Reddit. You can watch the Indiegogo video to see all the crap Lotsa had planned. He even had a hook for the entire video.
The main character is Tom. He's a lovable geek. He invents things at Vidor, but his love life is bleak. He crushes on Laura, the top field agent there, but he's afraid she won't like him, so he stays out of her hair. When Vidor's destroyed and leaves only them alive, Tom and Laura must team up if the world is to survive.
Oh crap, are we having a rap battle?
You can be here, you can be there, anywhere. You can go any place you wanna go, don't you know? You're just an image of yourself floating in the air. Can't lift a thing and you can't even comb your hair.
And for all this, Lotsa wanted $700,000!
Are you out of your fucking mind?
For reference, James Rolfe wanted $75,000 to make the AVGN movie, but ended up getting $250,000 instead. And AVGN was a household name at this point. Lotsa wanted more than double that as the minimum, and really had nothing to show for it. And unsurprisingly, the movie didn't reach its goal. It didn't even come close. So Lotsa, yet again, didn't get the acknowledgement of his idol like he wanted. Some people started taking notice of Lotsa's attempts to get the attention of Doug, most notably the people over on 4chan, and from the TV board. They learned of all of Lotsa's attempts to get Senpai to notice him, and also found out he's a big fan of Red Letter Media as well. They thought, well, since all the attempts of working with Doug failed, why don't we try to get Lotsa to gravitate towards them instead? You know, send him on the right path. Someone on the TV board sent Lotsa a letter pretending to be Mike from Red Letter Media, and successfully convinced Lotsa to create an audition tape.
Hi Mike, this is Paul. This is my audition for Red Letter Media.
And to drive from Chicago to Milwaukee and meet up at a diner, only to discover nobody from Red Letter Media was there. Lotsa found out the entire thing was a setup, and drove back to Chicago. Later, Rich Evans would confirm the story himself on stream.
A while back where 4chan tricked some poor schmuck into coming out here. 4chan posed as us. Said we were looking for on-air talent, and got some schmuck to try and find our studio for an audition. This is the cruelest fucking thing you could have done.
That is a cruel joke.
That's 3 times now Lotsa has had his dreams crushed. After this, Lotsa basically stopped trying to be an e-celeb. He mentioned what his dream is to actually do in his Red Letter Media audition tape.
In July, I intend to move to LA with a friend of mine, and we're gonna break into the industry.
And believe it or not, he actually did just that. Lotsa actually got into the industry as an editor on a couple of projects, some of which were from Disney. Lotsa actually got to work at Disney. He made it further than most. After getting ignored and trolled, he went on and actually got a job worth something. He went from doing mediocre board game reviews to actually working in the industry. Lotsa is the tale of someone who completely failed in getting recognized by the people he looked up to, but used what he had to go and actually do something else of worth. His reviews are absolutely forgettable. What do I mean they're forgettable? They're already forgotten. Nobody watched them. But he at least used the knowledge he had when making them for something else. Lotsa showed us all. Never stop following your dreams, and please do background checks before making road trips to different states.
You came to the right place where everyone will know. This is gonna blow your mind. This is the King Ollie Show!
One of the biggest differences between the impact James and Doug had on the online space relies on the longevity of all the people popping up influenced by them. With James, the angry game critic was a product of its time. So many angry gamers popped up and died out because that was seen as the ticket to gain a following. Only a small handful of angry game reviewers survived getting filtered by the passage of time. In Doug's case, it's quite a bit different. His style of humor is much more broad and reached way more people, and because of this, there are people heavily inspired by Doug that still pop up to this very day. The nostalgia critic wannabes are still coming with no signs of stopping. So that's why I went and I asked all of you for suggestions on who to include in this video, since there were so many to choose from. I really wanted an equivalent to the Angry Pissed Off Gamer from my AVGN clones video, a clone that tries and fails so hard it ends up being amazing. And one name I constantly saw was a channel called Dogs Eating Dogs 6, so I decided to check it out. Okay, the guy seems to be heavily into Mario RPGs, not seeing the Nostalgia Critic clone connection, but we'll check out one of his videos. Why Modern Family Guy is a cartoon disgrace. Let's watch this one.
Eve. Seen a lot of Hotel Mario memes, even though the game itself is still horrible as it seems.
E não precisou pegar um monte de imagem que...
E aí, pessoal, tudo na paz?
Foi tudo globeleza ou moleza? Nosso carnaval foi a segunda opção.
Nosso bloco foi unidos do Wi-Fi, da cama do sofá, do junk food.
Bom, o carnaval acabou e o ano definitivamente começou, né? Como diz aquela música, eu sou brasileiro, o ano só começa quando passa fevereiro.
Brasileiro com muito orgulho e muito amor, hein? Pois ainda estamos aqui, comemorando.
Isso aí, a gente ganhou o Oscar pela primeira vez. Agora quero ver alguém falar que o nosso cinema é ruim. Chupa, Emília Fezes, eu prefiro a Emília do Sítio do Pica-Pau Amarelo, que fizeram ela de voodoo pra gente ganhar o Oscar. Voodoo é pra Jacu.
E mais um motivo pra comemorar. A gente chegou à marca de 10 mil inscritos. Aê!
Demorou só 3 vídeos pra comemorar, porque ficou com medo que se comemorasse na hora ia voltar aos 9 mil.
A gente não planejou nada de especial pra essa marca, porém neste episódio eu reuni só vinhetas da terra do Sarney.
E a gente banca o fiscal de novo, tudo pela saco, digo, pelo social.
E já que estamos falando de Sarney, vamos pegar logo a emissora do próprio, a vinheta de 2001 no Bom Dia Mirante.
Olha, o começo tava até legal, mas os caras me fazem uma gambiarra com o mapa do Maranhão deste tamanho, com a movimentação mais desengonçada possível, sem a menor noção de suavidade.
A vinheta do São Luís Notícias de 2009. TV São Luís afiliada da Rede TV.
Os elementos só dão...
Okay. Let's go! Fundo si Bowser. Mundo. Did they use a stock image of like an ice trader? No entry. I guess I'll just go back then. Bye. What? Now, I might be just stupid here, but this is spelled Buenos Aires, not Buesno. I don't know though, different language. I might be totally wrong. Let's go! Let's get sued.
Please come to Brazil. Yahoo!
It is an improvement over, the real Mario's missing. Look at the fucking car. What the fuck is with these cars? What the fuck? Who is this? Princess, is that you? Who is this? It's a stock image spaghetti lady. She's like from Second Life. What is this? Okay, what the fuck is this? What is that? Who is this? Who is that? What the fuck is this? I mean, I know the original has like, you know, people walking around, but not like this. Oh god. Oh, fuck me! Super Mario Escape from Brazil. I want you to spot where the... I want you to spot. Okay, you gotta be really, you gotta like strain your eyes for this one. Where does the background begin and end? You know, you gotta really use your eyeballs for this one. It's only for masters though. It's kind of hard to see. Wait, is this the end? Well, I guess I gotta be smart about this. I gotta go down a pipe or something. Holy shit. Walk down the street. Oh, you mean as in like in the game? Like, hang on. What the fuck? What the fuck? He's melting into the fucking asphalt. Ah! I wanna learn. I wanna get out of Brazil. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Come to Brazil.
Oh. Oh guys. I'm not sure I want to do this. Fuck it. Cover your ears. Oh, here we go. Alright. Oh, wait a minute. I can already... But that's not where Washington is! It is now. Is it just me, or is this like New York City? there she is. Fuck it, it's American City. Oh fuck, I didn't see him. I was too busy like looking at this disaster in my background. I've had enough. What about Canada? Oh, Canada. That whip ba 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 ba. Oh, Washington, New York City's, bullets, Canada, a bunch of forest and mountains, you know. South Park. Guys, we have to defeat Canadian Larry. Fucking own the dude.
Canada, la, la, da, 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 da.
Remember when Mario nonchalantly just crossed over from America into Europe and then back? Because he forgot his shoes. And then back again. But wait a minute. Barcelona. In the UK? Russia is not in Germany. Well, I guess we'll do Russia. We'll check out Russia, everybody. Okay, well. That was Russia, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Mario's face. Oh, Mario's face. That wasn't Mario. Sorry-o. Well, get ready for Germany. How accurate is it? Very. Even though this game doesn't have it, I feel it needs like unregistered hypercam in the corner. Let me just fix this game. It's being too nice. Hang on. Now we're playing. Uh-huh. Alright, let's see what places we... Okay. Thank God. Thank God. Just get me out of here. Get me out of here. Because I think it's time for to play Hotel Mario. Please. I have an idea. Wait a minute. I have a great idea. Okay, nobody has dubbed it in Portuguese. I want to like just layer a YouTube video on top of it, but nobody has gone that far yet. They have? What?
Tomara que ela fez vários spaghetti.
Why is there no delete button on YouTube?
Temos que salvar a princesa. Cuidado, pause!
Okay, so now I'm about to play this. And you need to visualize the cutscenes. That's what you're listening to.
Cuidado, pause!
Here we fucking go.
Cuidado, pause!
Oh no! God, the timing! Brazilian Hotel Bar is gonna be the end of me. Fuck! Oh, it's a blessing! Okay. Guys, let's do the final level. See what happens. How do you get the gameplay of Mario Bros. 2 into this? Ooh, sounds drunk. How do I lift stuff? So, the fundamentals of like grabbing shit in this is not in it. To grab stuff, hold 1 down and shake the Wiimote. I don't think it'll have to do. Let me tell you something, how stupid Joel is. For a split moment there, as I'm playing this with my PlayStation 2 controller, I was shaking the controller in an attempt to emulate the Wii. When you heard this noise, like that, that's me in a futile attempt to just like crossbreed technology on the fly. Wait, what the fuck? We have a problem. I'm gonna remix it on the fly. The whole world is watching, I can't fuck up. Wait a minute.
Oh no! Here we go again!
No, we don't. I'm kind of disappointed we don't get like Super Mario Brothers, the movie, as a game. Oh, look at that Shy Guy! Oh, it's just like a stock cannon. Please. Please. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Oh, this sick remix! What? I still died though, like an idiot. Hey, Pauline, help. That's right. Bye. What the fuck? What? What happened? Last level, boys. Guys, speedrun time. Look how pro I am. Don't look. Para fazer salto. I'm pretty salto after this stream.
Oh yeah!
Mario time! Oh my god, my eyes! What does Mario Land look like? I'm sorry. I just need to see this. And how does it look? Oh, Excelente. That sweet remix though. And that sweet, sweet, omnipotent judging Joshi. Guys, what the fuck did the soundtrack just do? The bass are out of tune!
Mario time! Fix my eyes!
I'm sad that Mario 64 isn't in this pack. You can see the duct tape holding this game together. Yeah, that's why I love it. It's so honest, you know. Seal of quality, huh? Well, oh! Fancy. Look at this. Mario goes in the cave. Slowly. Wario. Wait, is this like Wario's castle? Like the end of the game? Let's just go fight Wario, I guess. Oh, it's so fucking narrow. I'm so huge. Oh, wow. Ah. Hitboxes. Hitboxes. Oh, the sound. Alright, bastard. Wario time? Or it's just a JPEG. No. Oh yeah! I was making a fucking joke. I wasn't. So, what do I do with you? Wario's been fucking destroyed. He's fucking annihilated. Here he is. Super. Oh, bye. Oh my god. Wario's fucking dead. Guys, I beat it. Theme.
A single tear running across Wario's face.
I mean, honestly, what can I say except... He's doing the John Lennon walk meme. Wait, let me position him right. United at last. The absolute madman. I can, as they say, dig it. I suppose. I think. Oh, there. Oh, what the fuck? So we got Egyptian Mario or something. What the fuck is this? Alright, what is this game they ripped off? Because the level design is obviously not... You know, the level design is original. Somebody made this. But, you know... What am I looking at? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? What is this? This sounded like a piranha plant with a face and piranha tits and Mario's dead corpse. What the fucking hell? Christ almighty, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking brain tumors in my eye socket. What the fuck? Alright, I gotta make this jump. When Mario dies, he screams like he's in hell. No, not really, like, listen to the scream. Listen to the scream right here, hang on.
E aí, pessoal, tudo na paz?
Tudo tranquilo no quilo?
Piores Vinhetas encerra mais um ciclo, mais uma vez com o melhor do pior desta terra descoberta por Cabral.
Sinceridade, do jeito que as coisas vão, era melhor ter devolvido pros índios e pedir desculpa.
A gente começa com 3 vinhetas da região sul do país, com a vinheta de 2012 do 1001 Noites.
Por isso, corre.
Não é esse 1001 Noites, é o programa de televendas da CNT.
É tipo a Rede TV também, que é outro canal de TV Oxigênio, tá no ar e ninguém vê. Abertura muito velha, as pessoas percebem. Né, que é isso, mas ver a minha sogra, ela tá aí até hoje. Entendedores entenderão. Não, mas é sério, até boleto de pobre é menos atrasado que os gráficos dessa vinheta aqui.
Vinheta de escalada do SBT News de 2012. Não o SBT News de agora que saiu do ar, mas o SBT News de Santa Catarina.
Esse fundo é template. A animação é simplesmente transição de Sony Vegas. Que desperdício.
Isso era na época que a SCC e SBT fazia vinhetas bem pebas, hoje fazem vinhetas muito melhores. Agora vamos para uma emissora que, em vez de evoluir com o tempo, continua tosca até hoje. A vinheta de 2000 da TV Urbana de Porto Alegre, hoje Rede Sul. Aquela que roubou o logotipo da TV Rio Sul, lembram?
Você quer mesmo que eu comente o que eu achei disso?
E não acabou não, ó.
A vinheta é um slide de PowerPoint congelado por 15 segundos e no fim é essa breguice aqui.
Breguice não é nada perto do que essa TV vai mostrar agora. Chegando no Sudeste tem a vinheta de 2012 do Top Nacional da extinta Mix TV. Que é mais um daqueles canais que passa clips.
Eu lembro desse canal, só passou pouquíssimo tempo na TV aberta daqui do Ceará, com exceção da TV União. Todos esses canais musicais era só TV por assinatura, mas nenhum deles chega aos pés da saudosa MTV.
Tá, vamos ver a vinheta.
Pensa numa vinheta brega, meu amigo. pense numa vinheta brega, viu? Os elementos, a coloração e a fonte de texto da vinheta dão a entender que só vai passar samba e pagode lá.
A última do Sudeste para esse vídeo é um especial de 1983 da Fafá de Belém no SBT.
Ó, bocona. Tá, e qual que é o problema?
I know what you're thinking. Ter, how'd you manage to find such a rare and valuable artifact? Well, here's the story. I was shopping at my local thrift store and in the corner of my eye I found Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun. Now a normal person would just say it looks like complete shovelware and bad, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. And clearly this was the best game ever made. So I bought it for the low price of $8,000 for the low price of $5. Now if we do some basic math, $5 for 30 games means it goes for about 16.6 cents per game. And above all, every single one of them are great games. Which is clearly a steal for the price and is definitely not lying to get me to buy the game. So in this video, I'll be taking a look at Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun. Before we get started, I just want to mention how poor the condition was on the packaging of this game. This has got to be one of the poorest conditioned games I've ever purchased. It was covered in a texture that just felt like pure dirt. It also had not one, but 3 stickers on it. That's probably because no one wants to keep this pile of garbage. That's because people don't want to keep this masterpiece to themselves and share it with everyone they know. Now without further ado, let's finally play Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun for the Nintendo Wii. The UI in Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun is typical to your average Wii game. Basically, randomly use motion controls in order to control the menu, even though the Wii Remote and Nunchuck have perfectly usable D-pads and sticks respectively. It can sometimes be painful to navigate at times, and it's especially annoying when you're trying to enter a name with the motion controls. But I guess that could be forgiven, cause every Wii game is like that. But at least with Wii Sports, you're not forced to use the pointer.
Enter a name.
Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun presumably contains 30 great games. But the funny thing about that is no, at least when you first start the game. Because over half of the 30 great games are only available when you unlock them. Because of course you have to unlock over half the minigames in a shovelware game about minigames. So anyways, maybe instead of complaining I should actually talk about...
I'm the man. Oh my. Hey, nice seeing you.
Clearly this game has the best gameplay. In a party game revolving around minigames, the most important thing is how fun the minigames are. Whereas something like Mario Party has fun boards and memorable minigames, Family Party 30 Great Games has really creative minigames like the Pole Climb 2 and the Home Run Match. But I'm not gonna rush over things, let's go into detail. By that I mean I'm gonna talk about 14 out of 30 great games because the rest of them are unlockable, so that's really stupid. The first minigame is the Floating Island. The main goal of this minigame is to make it to the end. Sounds pretty simple, right? Yeah, you're right. The only problem is that the controls are actually the worst thing I've ever played in a video game. Everything just feels stiff, and after you press the jump button it takes a full second for the character to actually do what you want them to do. And unlike every competent platformer, you can't adjust your jump after you make it, which only leads to you falling over and over again. And also, I don't know why there's still 4 screens even when I'm playing with bots. The next minigame is the Boxercise. This is clearly a rhythm game, but instead of clicking a circle or swiping in a certain direction, you have to waggle and swing the Wii Remote in various ways. This works about as well as you'd expect it to. Basically, not at all. Especially since it was designed with the regular Wiimotes in mind, and not Wii Motion Plus. Another big problem with this minigame is that you have to go through it over and over again, faster and faster every time. You know, instead of just ending the minigame. But besides the fact it's completely unplayable, yeah, it's alright. The next minigame is the Inner Clock 2. Well, I'm glad I never had to play the Inner Clock 1 because this is actual shit. So the goal of the game is to press the A button when you think your timer matches the timer at the top. It's really not all that fun, and the majority of the gameplay comes down to...
I'm the man. Oh my.
Which doesn't really lead to the most interesting gameplay. Another problem is that once everyone's done hitting the button, you have to do it again. Yeah, I really think 3 rounds of this is a bit unnecessary, but whatever. This game is poop. Moving on. The next minigame is the Hammer Strike. You know how in the Mario 64 Bowser fights you could grab Bowser and spin him around and throw him? Yeah, well this is like that, but as a mini-game, and a bad one at that. You have to spin the controller to spin around, and then press A to release. Again, the Wii Nunchuck has a perfectly usable stick, so why don't you just use that, instead of forcing motion controls into everything? The only really good thing about this minigame is that it ends pretty quickly, and doesn't last for 80 years like all the other ones. The next minigame is the Pole Climb 2. Yeah, I don't get this game. So you waggle the Wii remote to go up the pole, but then there's stuff in your way and you have to jump to other poles, and I don't know how to do that because the game doesn't tell you. I mean, it does, but you have to go out of the way to look at them. It's not like in Mario Party where they clearly give you the instructions on how to play each minigame. So yeah, they exist, they're just out of the way. And because the instructions aren't right in my face, it makes all the minigames way harder. But like the last minigame, the best part is that it ends pretty quickly. Alright, next we got the Obstacle Race 2. Okay, seriously, why are we only playing the sequels to these minigames? Where are the originals? So in this game, you run. I'm sure you're never gonna guess how you do that. And yeah, I still have very little idea of what to do. But we're back to the realm of single-player split screen, so that's cool. You win if you make it to the end of the obstacle course first. And to that I say, good luck with that, cause these bots actually go sicko mode. Next up is the Reflexes. Wow, really cool name there. Now I just don't understand this game. So this is obviously to test your reaction time. But yet, when you hit a direction, it takes more than a full second to hold down the thing. And even once you do hold it down, sometimes it keeps moving anyways. Another major problem with this minigame is that not only do you have to wait for every single family member to go through it, but you also have to go through 3 rounds. This is one of the longest minigames in the whole game, and yet content-wise it's still completely empty. The next game is the Unicycle. In this game, you let little Billy experience traumatic brain damage. Or he could do this. This is cool too. Yeah, even with the instructions, this one's just pure jank. It just feels so slippery and you could barely move straight without falling over. Yeah, this is a no from me. The next game is the Beach Flag. What's a beach flag, you may ask? Doesn't matter, the minigame's already over. The Boat Race. God damn it, I couldn't care less. Please let me go. So anyways, you waggle. The Home Run Match. Imagine Wii Sports, but bad. That's all I had in the script. Moving on.
Oh my.
Fuck you, Granny Smith! The last minigame is the Quarterback. Oh, I guess I didn't connect my nunchuck. So this minigame is the longest, but also the most interesting of them all. Interesting enough to last 5 minutes? No. So basically, the entire family takes turns trying to get a touchdown. I don't know why there's some random family playing with NFL players, but okay. The controls for this game are also dreadful. You use the nunchuck to move, and then you aim with the pointer, press A to set up your throw, and then waggle to do your throw. Now that's just way too much shit to keep track of when playing Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun. So much that by the time you get used to it, it's not even your turn anymore. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in this game, everyone takes turns. Because it's impossible to have a 1v3 minigame. Like, who would do that? Mario Party? So the game ends up lasting a really unnecessary amount of time, especially since you have to wait for the full squad to have their turn. But yeah, this minigame's just long and tiring. And that's all, oh wait, no. And that's 12 out of the 30 minigames. Now you may be wondering why I didn't take a look at the other 18 minigames. Well, that's because this video is over 8 minutes. I mean, it could also be because they're unlockable and I didn't unlock them. Yeah, we'll just go with that. All the minigames have one crucial thing in common that makes them all bad. They mostly just involve waggling the Wii remote, and the controls are pretty unresponsive all around. A lot of games also suffer from some serious pacing issues, the quarterback in particular. That minigame lasts forever. Despite its predecessor being popular enough to receive negative reviews, Family Party 30 Great Games Outdoor Fun continues to have 0 reviews to this day. And that's where I come in. Yeah, this game isn't very good. Roblox is a game that needs no introduction. However, that's not gonna stop me. It was already a massive game for many years, but it recently ramped up in popularity over the course of the pandemic. Nowadays, it's one of the most popular online games ever. And some of that success is most definitely due to its easy accessibility. You can be on an Xbox, laptop, or even your mom's iPad, and you'd still be playing the same game. At least, mostly. And paired with the fact that anyone can make a game for anyone with the built-in engine, is it really that much of a wonder why this game's so popular? And, as with everything else online, when so many people have access to something, you already know someone's gonna make something that's a bit too unique. So, venture with me as I make my way to the absolute bottom of the barrel. Weird Roblox games. The first game we'll be looking at is the Normal Elevator. This is gonna be the most popular game in this video, since the way I see it, the more popular a game is, the more normal it's perceived as by a general audience. The Normal Elevator has you, well, going in an elevator, and whenever it stops, one of the 31 different events occur. These can range from seeing something a bit unusual, to getting taken to the void from a shadow demon, then right to eating food with the boys. The fun in this game comes from trying to survive in the elevator for as long as possible. And while some things play out more like cutscenes, some events are more like actual minigames. And some of these minigames can be straight up weird, like this one where you fly into a giant toilet. And while they're certainly a bit lacking when reviewed separately, as a collective I think the combined games make something decently unique. But after a while you'll end up seeing everything the game has to offer. Definitely not bad, but also a bit strange sometimes. The next game is Siren Cop's Prison. Obbies are one of the most popular genres on Roblox. Of course, right next to Tycoons. It's a giant obstacle course that has obstacles that prevent you from reaching the end. And obviously, to combat the repetitiveness of these kinds of games, most people combined it with a pre-existing IP. This one doesn't do that, but it does fuse the concept of an obby with some horror elements to form Siren Cop's Prison. So in this game, you play as a criminal who is imprisoned for tax evasion, but as you escape, you realize that things aren't entirely the way they seem. The prison seems to be haunted by several spooky antagonists. Now, before I go into detail, I need to warn you. If you continue to watch, you'll get so scared you'll actually die of being just too scared. So we start out in a jail cell, and this place kinda sucks. This place has shit stains, cockroaches, and pictures of these guys. And also, the toilets seem to be radioactive. But luckily for you, there's a vent you can go through to begin your grand escape. You go through platforms, steam, and spikes, and then we finally make it to this room. And at first, it seems like there isn't anything special here. But then, a scary jump scare. And then we make it to stage 5. Here's where things start to take a big turn for the worse. This is the first level that has this guy. Now, he's a pretty cool guy. A true gamer even. Although I will say his lack of eyes is definitely going to affect his performance. So more levels go by and there are new mechanics being introduced every few levels. Like moving platforms, lightning, and now we even have zombies. Now these guys don't move much, but they will kill you if you get too close. Later on, we get to some sort of maze we have to dig through. You need to make it through the rooms while being careful not to accidentally free the cop guys, or else they will murder you instantly. Why are there eyeless cops inside the ground? I wish I could answer that. So after going through the rest of the levels and playing with all the different mechanics, we finally make it to the final levels. In this level, you have to jump around green slime and avoid an evil ghost that's trying to get you. Then we make it to the final level. Oh, okay, cool. We make it to the escape train, and we get to look at all the cool PNG images of trees as we finally escape. Next up, we gotta escape the supermarket. So, this is another RoBBB. This one centers around a grocery store, and more specifically, having to escape it. I know, pretty crazy. But before we get into the very original and not at all uninspired gameplay, we must first talk about the story of the game. So you're in the grocery store, and then the owner traps everyone inside for some reason. And instead of just shooting him or fighting back in any way, we just kind of allow him to vibe there while we try to escape. Oh no! The supermarket owner's gone mad and locked everyone inside! Try to escape! You start off in the front of the store, but because the front door is locked, you have to go deeper into the store to get out. The first obstacle in the game is a couple of spilled cans, but they must be laced with rat poison or something because as soon as you try to touch them, you fucking die. After crawling through a vent, I find myself in an aisle covered in spilled juice and flour. I don't know why it's bright ass pink, but whatever, I guess. Then we make it to the world of Coke and Pepsi, and these bottles are straight up melting into the floor. Beware of fruits. Those are carrots. After that, we get trapped in the owner's basement. That's it, I just wanted to point that out. Then we make our way through a meat cellar and to a library. We still haven't left the supermarket, by the way, so we just go through the book rooms and try to make our way to the exit. And that's actually somewhat difficult because the map is actually fucking huge. Then we use a metal boat to make our grand escape. And then we run with superhuman speed to avoid the incoming traffic and then win the game. Something I want to add is after beating the obby, one of the maps you can teleport to is Cartwright into Paw Patrol. And in this game you, do this. Next up is Survive from Coca-Cola Man. Damn bro, 2 games about corporations in a row? When you spawn in the house, you start with 4 items. A cell phone, a picture camera, a radioactive night vision video camera, and a can of Pepsi. Here we can see my man Friend. Let's see what he has to say.
Bro, Coca-Cola Man in city. Scared. I'm will hide at house, dude. You hide too.
Unfortunately for Friend, instead of hiding, I'll just take a quick look around and oh cool, look at that, it's Coca-Cola Man. And he must have caught you drinking something healthy like water, cause he's pissed. Just look what he did to Pepsi Man. So the goal of the game is to survive Coca-Cola Man, and that, honestly, really isn't that hard. While he may be faster than you on foot, as you can see at the beginning of the game, Coke Man is kinda stupid. He runs straight in your direction and has no pathfinding whatsoever, so if you can find a way to hide in any building, including the one you spawn in, you're completely safe. There are also cars you can use to run away from him, and they drive at like Mach 7. As easy as it would be to just lampoon the game for being bad, it's at least better than other Survive the Killers games. The map is at least unique, and not just a copy-pasted asset of a treehouse with a few morphs. And besides, how could you possibly hate on a game made by the Pepsi Man 1? Also, Coca-Cola Man is buff as shit, and he can and will beat your ass if he gets close enough to you. So anyways, surviving from Coca-Cola Man is a silly little game. Next up, we have Thomas.exe, and this game just doesn't work. And that's because the button to teleport straight up didn't work. We tried asking for help for a bit, but eventually we figured out we could just jump over the train tunnel. Then we walked for a long time until there was finally an opening to the rest of the map. Then we saw this. This amalgamation of duplicated assets is what used to be Thomas the Tank Engine, and he's a little bit wacky, especially because there are a bunch of faces on the inside. Someone help me, please, mom, pick me up. This whole game is just unfinished and bad. I obviously didn't play it for long because there wasn't any content to extract. The last game is gonna be Roblox EXE Sonic EXE. Yeah, doing 2 spooky EXE games in a row seems like it would be a bit repetitive, but after that literal train wreck of a game, I felt a need for another attempt at horror. And as we know, horror games on Roblox are always terrifying. In fact, This game is so scary that my friend Sam refused to leave the closet. Can someone please get him out? So we spawn in a room with blue walls, and we see 2 dead bodies lifeless on the floor. How spooky. The PNG image blood really added to the immersion. We stumbled across more dead bodies, then we all jumped down a large hole. At the bottom was Roblox himself. We asked Mr. Roblox to help us out, but instead he decided to disappear and leave us falling into a dark, empty abyss. We found another dead body, then someone threw a flashbang or something because I am no longer able to see. Someone help. The flashbang must have been important or something because it spawned a Mario pipe that led to a dark maze. The maze also has a pipe that leads to Baldi's Basics. However, the pipe was glitched or something because as soon as I entered it, I immediately got teleported back to where I was. And this leads to an endless loop of non-stop pipe shenanigans that leaves you in purgatory, a space between pipes. Eventually, I was able to get to Baldi's Basics, and inside there were a bunch of empty rooms. Huh. Now, if my recap of events sounds a bit like a fever dream, that's because this entire game played like one. I never saw Sonic.exe himself in the entire game, and progressing was made nearly impossible thanks to the pipes. So yeah, this game is not very good. Anyways, I don't like Roblox very much. Goodbye.
Excuse me, you need to leave.
Like many of you watching, I go to school. And I think that the majority of people can agree school is usually a relatively boring place. But there's a major thing that could help prevent boredom. As long as you're done with your work, that is. Online browser games. Or to be more specific, cool math games. A website that seems to have been around since the beginning of time. There are so many people that seem to share this nostalgia for the website, and I think the answer is pretty obvious as to why, but that'll be discussed later. In this video, I'm gonna revisit some of my favorite cool math games I've played over the years, as well as some newer games that I think you should try today. I mean, I kinda can't because Cool Math Games is blocked on my school Wi-Fi, but who knows, maybe you guys can enjoy it. Run is easily the most popular series on the whole site. The first game has you running through space and platforming to avoid falling out of the map. You could jump on either of the walls around you, and it rotates the entire map to your liking. This is a super cool concept for a game, and because each of the levels are so short, it makes it extremely accessible to play for both short bursts as well as hours on end. The levels start on the easier side of things, but they gradually get harder over time, and lead to a decently challenging game. As for the second game, it's unfortunately not available at the moment, as it's the one game in the main trilogy that seems to still use Flash. Yeah, I might want to talk about that. When Adobe shut down Flash at the end of 2020, everyone was concerned about Cool Math Games, but luckily for them, most of their games were made in HTML5, and not in Flash. So Cool Math Games was fine, for the most part. The Run games, however, were all made in Flash. Fortunately though, the game's reported to HTML5 and the series lives on. But I guess they're just updating it because Run 2 is not there. Run 2 took what the first game did and made it longer and more advanced. The levels have noticeably less ground to stand on and focus more on the platforming. And obviously, the best method of movement is to not run. There's a character that has roller skates, and they make the game play at a much faster pace, with the trade-off being that the controls are much more slippery. Run 2 is also pretty unique with the level design, and serves as a competent sequel to the original. Run 3 is the most expansive game in the trilogy, by taking everything 1 and 2 set up and fully realizing the concepts. There's more running, there's more jumping, and more running. To distance itself from Run 2, while the game still provides a lot of focus on platforming, the map design in Run 3 is a lot more comparable to the first game than the second. In this game, a new platform type is introduced. The falling platform. The idea is pretty easy to grasp. You can get away with touching it once, maybe twice in quick succession, but after it falls, it's no longer there. There's some pretty cool levels where there's a line of falling platforms, and if you touch one, it causes an entire chain reaction, and all the falling platforms in a whole level are gone, and leave nothing but more space to fall through. Later on in the game, you get to play as this lizard guy. Now you might think the lizard guy is this game's version of baby mode, except he doesn't make the game any easier, just much slower. He's the polar opposite of the unnamed skating character, as the gimmick with this guy is that he's really slow, but he can jump way higher than the other two. I hate Lizard Guy. All my homies hate Lizard Guy. But, whatever. Using him isn't required anywhere in the game, so I'll just stick to my super fast skating man. All in all, the Run series as a whole is pretty good. Definitely a fun way to spend a couple minutes. Another classic series of games is Fireboy and Water Girl. These games follow Fireboy and Water Girl, who would have guessed, as they go through various puzzles involving fire, water, and physics. There are 6 of these games, all of which have different themes, like light, fantasy, and ice. The levels were designed with 2 players in mind, so if you want to get a max score, you need to move both characters simultaneously. This isn't something you could really do when you're playing on your own. And if you do try to play it on your own, it often feels really annoying. All in all, these games are actually pretty fun. The difficulty progression is a bit more sudden than in Run, but it's a completely different genre, so obviously it'll have differences. Duck Life is another one of those games everyone's at least familiar with. In this game, you get a duck, and train it to become the best racer of all time. You do this by playing 3 whole minigames. For running, you need to dodge barrels and jump by clicking. You need to collect coins, and when you do that, your running stat increases. To improve swimming, you need to dodge obstacles while diving and jumping to collect coins. And for flying, you have to fly up and down, collecting as many coins as you can before you inevitably fall and die. And then, after playing the same 3 minigames for 8 whole hours, you're finally ready to enter your duck in a race. Okay, Duck, we've been playing the same 3 minigames all week just to prepare you for this race. You better not mess this up, or I'm putting you up for adoption and never talking to you again. Cool Math Games without a doubt has a lot of classics under its belt, but no one ever talks about the newer catalog of games. Are they any good, or did Cool Math Games fall off? Let's take a look at some of these modern games to see if they can even compare with the classics. OVO is one of the more recent games I've played. It's a platformer where you play as a man with a donut for a head and you run around in a monochrome world, which kinda reminds me of Sketches on Paper. While simple in concept, there are a lot of mechanics in this game. You can wall jump, slide jump, ground pound, high jump, wall climb jump, and even dive. Now that's a lot to keep track of for a 2D platformer, but luckily the tutorials are intuitive and easy to understand, so you can pick up on most of these concepts rather quickly. After the tutorials though, the game gets surprisingly hard. In the very first actual level, you need to remember pretty much every mechanic you've learned, which is, again, quite a lot. The second level only introduces even more mechanics. Still though, if you can get good enough at the game, it can be a ton of fun. I actually really recommend this game. It's good. A game I found while I was working on this video is simply called Scribble. In this game, you need to draw lines and move a ball of paper into the garbage can. And you aren't limited to just one line either. So there's a pretty low amount of creativity involved with how to approach each level. In later levels, 2 mechanics are introduced. In level 3, a red ball is introduced that can automatically delete everything it touches. This forces you to think around the red ball, or else you'll lose your path. And there's also a blue ball. These can interact with the blue boxes, preventing you from beating the level. You have to navigate these levels in a way to make the blue ball unlock the exit, and then the white ball goes in the garbage can to end the level. The game gets pretty boring early on though, but it's still pretty fun nonetheless. There's also something else I noticed. The game doesn't get rid of your ability to draw after you press the start button, so it allows you to do this. Another game I found notable is Table Tanks. It really reminds me of the tank minigame from We Play. In this game, you play as a tank and you have to eliminate other tanks. And there's a total of 25 levels to complete, and 5 different tanks. Those being red tanks, purple tanks, black tanks, giant red tanks, and the final boss of the game. The red tanks are your go-to enemies. They shoot when they see you, and they're pretty easy to deal with on their own. The purple tanks are a bit more sporadic than their red counterparts. These guys shoot more often, and come off like a gamer that just took one too many Flintstones gummies. The black tanks shoot in a shotgun-like spread, and these guys are incredibly dangerous, even on their own. But if you're fighting them along with anything else, then things can really get complicated. Then there are the giant red tanks. These things are slower, stronger, and have more health than the smaller versions. You pretty much have to empty 3 whole mags into these things. It doesn't really help that they also have bouncing giant bullets, which are a bit scary. There are also abilities. Basically every couple levels you get the option to choose a new ability. These can range from bouncing bullets to giant bullets to double bullets, but there are also non-bullet based upgrades, like faster movement or laser sight. Every enemy in the game can instantly take you out with one shot, and, as I mentioned previously, they shoot you on sight. You can increase your protection by getting a bubble shield upgrade, but the enemies get this upgrade later on as well. The final boss in this game is a white tank. It's basically like if you took the giant red tanks and then mixed them with the shotgun spread of the black tanks. The progression in this game works excellently, and I highly recommend going to check this game out. It only took me 20 minutes to get through the whole thing, but I could say with certainty that I enjoyed every second. So those are just some of the games Cool Math Games has to offer. This is by no means a complete list, but I feel like my choices properly summed up some of the best things Cool Math Games has to offer. But how is it so easy for Cool Math Games to induce? I think a big reason Cool Math Games has the staying power to remain so nostalgic to so many people is that the games are truly timeless, including Run, Fireboy and Water Girl, World's Hardest Game, Duck Life 2048, and so many more. Each and every one of these games are super replayable, and they all work as both full gaming experiences as well as a good way to spend the last 10 minutes of class. But Cool Math Games still changes with time. For better
Ninja hero riders, frogs that wield katanas, wear eye patches, and ride horses. Sure. I mean, I do like the dumbfounded expression on his cute little face, and just look at how his green horse with blonde hair gallops. Bro, get a bigger table. If you watch my videos, the only thing that's gonna get bigger is your brain. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my funny and informative content. Now, speaking of, sometimes online shopping feels like roulette. You never know what you're gonna get. This was particularly true for Thon Son from Hanoi, Vietnam. Hoping to surprise his son, he spent 850,000 Vietnamese dong, about $33, on an Iron Man toy he found online. The ad promised a normal buff superhero just like in the movies. But when the package arrived, Thon ended up with, yikes. Iron Man? More like Iron Deficiency Man. Am I right? Ha! Although I will admit the scrawny arms and potbelly combo is a nice touch. If Thon really wanted a robotic superhero, then he should have gotten his son this epic piece of ass. This beefed-up Thomas the Tank Engine apparently comes from Japan, except he's been mechanized into Super Electric Thomas. I don't care if this is a ripoff, it's the most badass toy that has ever existed. For kids who can't handle Super Electric Thomas, you could always get them something a bit more mellow. A Toy Story figurine, or... Holy hell, Woody? His hands are as big as wardrobes. Oh, I forgot this guy isn't from Toy Story, it's from Space Boys. Oh, how silly of me. And who could forget Batman and Super Flyman? This odd duo comes from the Weirdo Toys website. According to the collector, they stumbled across these strange figures at a toy show where the seller claimed these contraband crusaders were originally manufactured in Hong Kong. They were later found in an abandoned New York warehouse where the toys had been left water-damaged from poor storage. Since appearing online, they inspired this piece by artist Thomas Perkins. Now what the heck are those guys fighting? Whatever they are, they're not as terrifying as the next figurine. In all of nerddom, no one is more feared than Darth Trump. What's this guy's catchphrase? I gotta say, I find your lack of faith very strange, very disturbing. Okay, this isn't really a knockoff, more a bit of fun. The Trump figurine comes from Time Bandits, a site run by designer and visual artist Jonathan Stevens, who makes and sells good stuff like watches, comic books, and of course, toys for ages 33 and up. And for those who are feeling a bit more spenny, why not splash out on a Darth Trump Gold Edition?
I love gold, I love diamonds, we all do.
Steven's stuff is sick, but it's expensive. If I didn't spend all my time and money on making YouTube videos, I'd buy some of it. Talking of money woes, what family hasn't had a good squabble over a game of Monopoly? Sorry for the mispronunciation, I meant mo money. Believe it or not, this ripoff is actually unavailable on most online shops. From what I've gathered, it's manufactured by a company called Genius Cells, and comes with a calculator instead of physical mo money, which really angered Amazon user Mommy Dearest. For those not willing to put in the hours of a normal Mo Money or Monopoly marathon, there's always the speedier version, Monopoly Deal. Redditor One True Brody tried ordering the card game from Temu and then one from Amazon. See if you can spot the difference. Penny bags must have took a vacation someplace sunny. Now, back in 1983, Nintendo released the Famicom, better known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, outside Japan. This revolutionary console could run arcade games at home and became a global sensation, selling more than 2.5 million units by 1984. But with success came imitators, and the NES earned the honor of being one of the most copied consoles of all time, spawning a wave of Famiclones. One such crappy copy came following the fall of the Soviet Union, complete with an adorable, albeit somewhat creepy, elephant mascot, the Dendy. Released in 1992 and produced in Taiwan, this gem was clearly inspired by the NES, which was already 9 years old by then. It even came preloaded with bootlegged Famicom games. The best of the best is absolutely, without a doubt, Somari, a Sonic the Hedgehog game, except instead of Sonic, the main character is a spinning Mario. I need to play this. Regardless of, or perhaps because of, its bizarreness, the Dendy was beloved throughout Russia. For nearly 30 years, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series has mesmerized kids and adults alike with magical stories, unforgettable characters, and intricately detailed worlds, even if Rowling herself has now gone a bit, Hoping to jump on the bandwagon, some other writers have tried emulating Rowling's works. Nowhere was this truer than in 2000's China, where in 2001, an estimated 30 to 40% of all books on the market were pirated. Among the most memorable counterfeits was Harry Potter and the Golden Armor, which, as you can see, looks a darn sight cooler than the US version. And then there's Harry Potter and Leopard Walk Up to Dragon. Wait, is that the dragon from Sleeping Beauty? And is Harry tackling a centaur? Whatever. The book begins with the immortal line,
Harry doesn't know how long it will take to wash the sticky cream cake off his face.
I'm being transported already. From what I've found, the plot follows Harry as he's transformed into a fat, hairy dwarf. After that, he goes on an adventure with characters both familiar and new in a plot that's a rehash of Tolkien's The Hobbit. You know what? That still sounds better than any of the Fantastic Beasts movies. Over in the US, some products might look like knockoffs, but they can actually be proven as parodies. They're often protected under the First Amendment, bypassing trademark infringement laws. That's why you can get companies like this online fashion store, Dolce & Banana, selling these t-shirts. That's a bit more than evocative. And as far as I know, Dolce & Gabbana haven't sued them yet. Speaking of which, people are willing to splash thousands on designer brands. Take these Speedy 30 bags from Louis Vuitton. Those things can go for over $1,800. Good thing we've got companies like My Other Bag then, who make much cheaper tote bags with drawings of iconic designer handbags. Except Louis Vuitton didn't find the parody funny. In 2016, they took My Other Bag to court, arguing trademark infringement and dilution. The district court disagreed, ruling that the totes were clearly a parody that wasn't likely to confuse customers. But Louis Vuitton wasn't having it. They appealed and lost once more. The court upheld the original ruling, pointing again at the fact that the bag was a parody. The court also said that Louis Vuitton hadn't provided any evidence to prove that a customer could possibly mistake the original Speedy for a tote bag with a picture of a Speedy on it. Poor massive conglomerate. Right now, Louis Vuitton is at home,
crying like a little girl.
If you have a mom, aunt, or gran, you know Facebook is this extraordinary website used for sharing inspirational quotes. Unfortunately for the company, there are a few people that think Facebook is a bit, dare I say, lame. Hey, that's just according to Lamebook, a site that shares screenshots of hilarious Facebook hijinks. Incensed that someone would claim they're uncool, Facebook sent a cease and desist letter to Lamebook's site in Austin, Texas in March 2010. Not only that, in a tantrum-like rage, they shut down any links to Lamebook that were on Facebook and stopped users from liking the company's page. But Lamebook returned with vengeance in November and countersued Facebook. Several lawsuits followed, Facebook's argument being that Lamebook infringed on and diluted their brand, while Lamebook's owners said that their site was a parody. Eventually, in August 2011, both sides finally reached a settlement. Lamebook came out still able to use its name, but must add a disclaimer and cannot seek trademark protection. All's well that ends well. But one company that found itself in the doghouse was VIP Products. Back in 2014, they released a squeaky dog toy styled like a Jack Daniels bottle, renamed Bad Spaniels. Is that for real? Sure is. Instead of the original bottle's 40% alcohol, this one declared itself 43% poo and 100% smelly. Now, while it might seem a hoot to us, it only maddened the whiskey company, who dragged VIP to court. In 2020, the initial ruling went in VIP's favor, with the court agreeing it was an expressive work and a clear parody. But Jack Daniels wouldn't let sleeping dogs lie. The whiskey brand brought the case to the U.S. Supreme Court, arguing the toy tarnished Jack Daniels' name and associated whiskey with excrement. Finally, in 2023, the Supreme Court agreed with Jack Daniels, overruling the earlier decision. Really? Who's gonna walk out of a store trying to drink from a chew toy? Either way, it was a rough day for VIP. And that's my dog pun quota filled for today. All this talk is making me hungry. I need snacks. Luckily, nothing makes my stomach sing like grabbing a fistful of, Prongles? Who are these porcine pretenders and what have they done with Pringles? These ripoffs first appeared in November 2017, with many customers confused by their blatant copying. Signature flavor of salt and potato, and this.
That's right, H-O-G, share your Pringles with me.
'Cause everybody wanna chip and everybody beg for more. Everybody wanna chip and everybody beg for more.
For only $2.99, you can buy them at the store. Getting tickled pink from the salt and potato.
Damn, that song slaps so hard. With a theme like that, it's no surprise that when first released, Prongles were a hit and sold out on their website for $3 a can. However, people noticed that these things were being sold in the cards and games section, not the snacks. Well, it turns out these are made by Cards Against Humanity, those guys who make the controversial card game of the same name. The company released an official statement saying they
retired our popular comedy card game to pursue our real passion, dominating the snack food industry.
Oh, damn. I didn't know they discontinued that game. Oh, no need to worry. The whole thing's just a big publicity stunt. They intentionally created a Pringles ripoff complete with a cartoon mascot straight from the 90s. And if you go on the Prongles website, they promise to bring out 2 new flavors, Whole Fish and America. Sounds meaty. Now, Cards Against Humanity are known for their public trolling. They even marked Black Friday 2016 by raising $100,000 to dig a big hole and streamed it live on YouTube. As for Pringles, there's been no recorded response to Prongles. Maybe they want to try the new flavors too. Sometimes what we believe to be the real deal turns out to be the fake. The Americans amongst us will be well acquainted with M&Ms. Those little balls of chocolatey goodness coated in candy shells. But across the pond, Brits have a similar treat by a different name, Smarties. The two products are nearly identical, so which one's the ripoff? Well, candy company Rowntree's released chocolate beans in 1882, later reinventing them as Smarties in 1937, beating Mars's launch of M&M's in 1941. Well, looks like M&M's are the copycat. Now everyone join me in a collective boo. Boo! Okay, that's enough. The story of Smarties and M&M's actually goes much deeper than that. Both of them were actually predated by small chocolate treats from 19th century Italy and France coated in sugar shell called drage, which meant upper-class women could enjoy chocolates without staining their gloves. Then in 1932, Forrest Mars Sr., the son of Mars founder Frank Mars, and George Harris of Roundtree both found themselves in Spain during the Civil War. Watching soldiers, they noticed how they'd munch on small sugar-coated chocolates that didn't melt in their pockets. The story goes that Forrest and Harris made an agreement on the spot. Forrest would sell a similar product in the US, and Harris would sell them in Europe. Mars made M&Ms, Roundtree made Smarties. Who knew ripoffs had so much history? However, M&Ms have since appeared in British stores. Looks like Mars has reneged the deal. Well, everyone join me in a collective boo. Boo. There's been other ripoffs of the ripoff, too. In Sudan, blogger and photographer Jim Rees found these S&Ms. According to Jim, they taste pretty good, apart from the lack of sugar coating. Huh, I thought anything called S&Ms would be a bit, spicy.
Oh my.
I'm not done with the sweet stuff yet. In Britain, one cake has been a staple of kids' birthday parties since 1990. Colin the Caterpillar. Grocery chain M&S has sold this iconic chocolate cake, along with his female counterpart Connie, for decades, shifting a whopping 5 million of them every year. But M&S has a rival, Aldi. While M&S leans toward the luxury side of shopping, Aldi is all about budget-friendly alternatives, and Colin was no exception. In 2019, Aldi unveiled their own Caterpillar cake, Cuthbert, and he bore a striking resemblance to Colin. In April 2021, M&S took Aldi to court, accusing them of copyright infringement.